Hello friends, so we'll start with trial balance today. As we all know, trial balance is a very important statement in the accounting cycle or accounting process. We have already discussed about journalizing and posting the journal entries into ledger. Now next step is preparation of a trial balance. No doubt trial balance is a very important statement. So first let's discuss about the importance and what do we mean by trial balance exactly. So here we start with it. So trial balance is a list of debit and credit balances of all ledger accounts. It is prepared at the end of an accounting period. Now this is a statement, this is very clear. So what it shows? It shows debit and credit balances of ledger accounts. Therefore, it is also known as statement of balances. Also, it is a statement prepared with debit and credit balances of ledger accounts, and the prime purpose of preparing the trial balance is to test the arithmetical accuracy of the books. Now we have so many kind of books. We have ledger books, we have a purchase book, we have sales book, we have sales return, we have purchase return book, we have cash account, cash book. So many things are there. So when we are clubbing all the balances in one statement, that is known as a trial balance. So when we write down all the balances in one statement, that is known as ledger account. So the prime purpose of preparing a ledger account is to test the arithmetical accuracy of the books. And we'll time again talk about this help or this feature of trial balance again and again. It is a list or abstract of balances or of total debits or credits in a ledger, and the purpose is to determine the quality of posted debits and credits. And basically it's a summary. Fine, it is a basic summary for final statement. Whatever work we have done till now, journalizing, posting the journal entries into ledger, so this all becomes a back-end work. What we see is a trial balance, and with help of this trial balance we'll be further proceeding and preparing financial accounts. We'll be calculating profits of the firm. We'll be talking about the financial position of the firm. Okay, so this trial balance is a kind of a curtain or a veil which is in between the process of preparing final accounts and work that has been done before preparing the trial balance. So basic objectives, or we can say prime objectives of preparing trial balance. First, it is very helpful and very important for checking of arithmetical accuracy of the ledger accounts. Now we are discussing about this arithmetical accuracy. What is arithmetical accuracy? If I say I'm more concerned about the arithmetical accuracy, what does it mean? What I want to know about the ledger accounts? Now many a times or very often what happens is, now in these posting from journal to ledger, there is always a chance of creating some errors. For example, amount 814 could be written as 418 while we are posting from one place to other. From journal we are picking the amount 814, but by the time it enters ledger it becomes 418. So this is an error. So this is an error of arithmetical accuracy. That means there is some problem with copying of the numbers, and or it may be the problem with addition or subtraction of the numbers. So these errors related to numbers are known as arithmetical accuracy. So accounts is all about numbers, adding, subtracting, posting from one place, taking it to other place. So there is always a possibility of creating some errors. So when we prepare trial balance, we take care or we get to know if there is some compromise with the mathematical accuracy of accounts. So whenever balances are not matching or we realize there is some problem, so next step is we find out the errors. It also helps us in locating errors that are related with the different accounts. Okay, and then last, as we have talked about, it facilitates preparation of final accounts. When we prepare final accounts, what are final accounts? trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. So when we prepare final accounts, we do not require journal entries or we do not require ledger accounts. What we require is a trial balance, because trial balance is giving you summary of all the balances in all the ledger accounts. Okay, so we require trial balance for the same purpose. Now, if we are saying that trial balance is a very important statement and it is solving various objectives for us, then obviously it becomes quite important to know about the advantages of preparing a trial balance. So first point we have already talked about, it tells us or helps to find out the arithmetical accuracy of the bookkeeping work done during the period. In the entire year, you have done the work of bookkeeping and the whole thing you summarize in trial balance. It supplies one place ready references of all balances in ledger accounts. All the type of ledger accounts that we have, they are present in one place. All the balances are written in one statement, and that is trial balance. If any error is found on preparation of a trial balance, the same can be rectified before preparing final accounts. Now, if our balances do not match or we realize that there is no arithmetical accuracy, then the next step becomes finding out those errors, and trial balance is helping us in locating those errors also. Fine. So these errors have to be rectified. Why? If we don't rectify, then somewhere there would be problem with our final accounts also, and they will not present the true picture of the firm. So next step becomes, if we find out any error, we have to rectify them so that the same errors are not taken to final accounts. So it forms the basis on which financial accounts are prepared. So we assume that our trial balance is free of errors and whatever information we are supplying through trial balance is very genuine, so that final accounts that we are preparing have no issues or no errors with them. So this is how a trial balance looks like. Now there are different methods of preparing trial balance, and so we have different formats. So two basic formats I'm sharing here. One by one we'll have a look. So in this, first we need to write down the date. Trial balance of XYZ Limited as on a particular day. So a date has to be specified. Then particulars or name of the account, you are talking about the account, ledger folio number, and debit balances that they have and credit balances that they have. This is one of the format of trial balance. The other format that is widely used is this format. Again, date becomes very important. You need to write down the date first. Trial balance of X by Z Limited as on a particular date. Date has to be specified. Now here we have only one balance, either a debit balance or a credit balance. We have, for every account we have any one balance. It could be debit, it could be credit. Okay, depending on the nature of account, we generally have an idea of which account will have a debit balance or a credit balance. Now balancing of accounts we have discussed in the earlier video of balancing of ledger accounts. So the same balance that we carry forward has to be entered here in the trial balance. This is the widest method that is used for preparing trial balance. Fine. So now we'll next talk about points to be noted. So these are the certain points or certain things, or we can say steps to be followed when preparing a trial balance. What has to be done first? So first, date at which trial balance is prepared should be noted at the top. I have shown you the format. In that format also we have specified the date earlier. Okay, so first step is to specify the date as on which date we are preparing the trial balance. Name of the account column contains the list of all ledger accounts. Generally all the ledger accounts are included in the statement. If a particular account has zero balance, it may or may not be included. It depends on the type of method of trial balance that you are following. Ledger folio of the respective account is entered in the next column. In the debit column, debit balance of the respective account is entered, and same is the case with credit balance. In case you have a credit balance, we'll be entering the amount in the credit column. The last two columns are totaled at the end, and when we total, debit balances and credit balances should match with each other. If they don't, then there is a possibility that there are some errors. The debit balance is either an asset or loss or expense. Generally, accounts which are asset accounts or loss or expenses account, they have a debit balance, and income, gain or liability will have credit balance. You might have read about all these things while learning about how to post in ledger entries. Okay. Now there are some problems associated or some things that trial balance do not sort out for us. So let's have a look on those things also. Though a trial balance helps to ensure arithmetical accuracy of books of accounts, there is always a possibility that there is no compensating errors. Now, what are compensating errors? At one place, I had to write 500, but I wrote 600. Okay, in the other account, I was supposed to write 600, but I wrote 500. So these are the errors that compensate with each other. So in this case, my mathematical accuracy is not disturbed. So there is always a chance that here I will not locate any error. Why? Because mathematically everything is fine. One error has compensated for the other error. So this is one of the limitations, or the biggest limitation of trial balance, that there is a possibility that it does not trace or it does not talk about compensating errors. As all the errors made are not disclosed by the trial balance, it would not be regarded as a conclusive proof of correctness of books of accounts maintained. Now, since there are certain type of errors that are not located by the trial balance, so now again there is a problem that we cannot say that it is a proof of correctness. If my trial balance is matching properly, there is no problem at the surface. Still, we cannot guarantee, or it is not the proof of correctness of all the books that we are maintaining. So this is one of the biggest limitation of the trial balance. But despite of these limitations, it is an important statement to be prepared. Okay, so here is one problem, one question to solve so that we can learn how to prepare a trial balance. So as I told you, there is always a date specified because we always write date on the top as to at which date we are preparing a trial balance. So here we have to prepare a trial balance for Shining Brothers Private Limited as on March 31st, 2017. So this is the information that is given for preparing a trial balance. So what information is this? Here we have name of the accounts. These all are the name of the accounts. Description column includes name of the accounts. Amount column have the balances of the accounts. Now, for example, bank loan rupees 14,000, insurance expense 73,000, equipments 40,000. Fine. So these are the balances. Now, how to find out which account has a debit balance or a credit balance? This we have discussed earlier also. We have different types of accounts. 5 types of accounts are there and they show different balances. For example, asset always have a debit balance. Liabilities always have a credit balance. All the expenses have debit balances. Incomes have credit balances. So this is how we are bifurcating that which account will have what kind of balance. So now let us have a look at the solution also. So this is how a solution would look like. This is a trial balance. So first of all, we'll write the name of the firm, trial balance. Which statement is this? It is very important to write trial balance here. Otherwise, if we don't write name of the statement, how will we know that this is a trial balance? And third important thing is date. As on so and so date. So Entering a date is important. Why? Because it is telling you the balances of all the accounts as on this particular date. Bank loan is a liability, it will have a credit balance. Marketable security is an asset, it will have a debit balance. Similarly, we are bifurcating accounts that have debit balances will have amounts here, and accounts that will have credit balances, their amounts will come here. Okay, so what we have to do is one by one we'll pick up account name and then we'll enter it here. Now, as regards what has to be the sequence, may or may not be very strict. So you can go as per the information given in the question. Fine. And then we are totaling both the accounts, debit balances and credit balances. Now, if this total matches, for example, total here is 1,32,000 in debit column and same is the amount with credit column. So we say that arithmetical accuracy is there. There are no errors as of now. But if these two balances does not match, then there is some kind of arithmetical problem with the data given to you. Some account may not have been balanced properly, or there have been some interchange of the amounts, or wrong accounts have been chosen. Some or the other kind of error is there. So it is important that these two figures must always match. Number of debit should always be equal to number of credits. As we know that we have a double entry bookkeeping system. Double entry means that every transaction is having a double effect. So all the debit have to be balanced with all the credits. So it is very important that these two balances should always match. Okay, so I hope this preparation of trial balance is very clear. You just need to have information about the different type of accounts that we have, and then you should always remember what kind of balances these accounts can have. Assets always have a debit balance, liabilities always have a credit balance. So these basic information are very prime when you prepare trial balance, and you get used to this information. Once you learn how to journalize and how to post the entries into ledger, these things become very general for you. So you will not face any problem in making a trial balance. So we have discussed till now why trial balance is important, how to prepare a trial balance, what are the problems associated with the trial balance. Now we'll quickly see about what are the errors that can be disclosed by a trial balance. First is partial omission of posting an amount in ledger. Partial omission means we have posted one account, but we have not posted the other account. Once we are copying or once we are posting the journal entry in the ledger, you know that minimum of two accounts are involved. It could be more than two, but minimum of two accounts are involved. So many a times I may forget to enter into the second account. So this error may be located by a trial balance. Why? Because my debit and credit will not match. Wrong totaling of subsidiary books. Again, this could be one of the problems. It could be a totaling error. Since trial balance is taking care of arithmetical accuracy, it will tell us that there is some problem with the subsidiary book. Omission of balance in an account. Some amount has been left. We have not entered it at all. Errors in extraction of a trial balance. Debit or credit entries are not entered at all. Debit or credit entries are entered twice. So these are the very general errors that may be there, and trial balance is quite helpful in locating these kind of errors so that we can rectify them before taking this information to the final accounts. We can always rectify these errors, and we prepare many statements for rectification of these errors. We have rectification of errors also. This is also one of the main topics of financial accounting, and we have a video for rectification of errors also. So after making a trial balance, we'll talk about rectification of errors also. Okay. Debits are entered as credits by mistake and vice versa. Again, there is a lot of possibility of this. I may write the amount in the debit column which was supposed to be entered in the credit column, and vice versa. Errors in calculating the balance of an account. Again, this is a major error, maybe in subtraction or addition we can make. Balance of an account wrongly entered in the trial balance. So at times we do not have problem with addition or subtraction, but at the time of copying the amount from one place to other, we make a mistake. As I told about one example, like 814, we write it as 418. So these things are always there. Difference in amount between the entries. Again, this could be a very common error. Okay, so next we'll start with, okay, now we also have a list of errors that are not disclosed by the trial balance. For example, errors of omission. You have left one journal entry. It has not been posted into ledger and hence its effect is not there in trial balance. So trial balance cannot talk about these errors. Compensating errors, we have discussed what are compensating errors. Error at one place is compensating the error at other place. Errors of principle, we are not choosing the account properly in which account entry has to be made. Entering both aspects of transaction twice in the book of accounts. If we totally leave one transaction or we record a transaction twice, in both the things arithmetical accuracy is not disturbed, so trial balance will not help us in locating these kind of errors. Errors in entering a transaction on the correct side of the wrong account. So because side is correct, so debit and credit will match. So account is wrong but side is right. Again, trial balance will not help us in locating these errors. Entering wrong amounts in the books of original entry. Again, this is one kind of error in which trial balance will not help us. So that is all with this video. But apart from all these things, all these problems with the trial balance, it remains an important statement. It is a very important step of accounting cycle or accounting process, and we all need to go through with this video properly. So there is no problem with preparing a trial balance. Just the major thing before preparing a trial balance is you take care of the dates, you take care of the accounts, you enter the amounts properly. You should remember which account will have what kind of balance. It will have a debit balance or a credit balance. Otherwise, preparing a trial balance is one of the easiest tasks. It is not at all a difficult task. Okay, thank you so much for listening to my video and wait for many more to come. Thank you so much.